Overnight, those two inmates on the run since Tuesday finally captured in Tennessee, taken into custody after a chase with police. And ABC Steve Osunsami is in Madison, Georgia this morning, where the prisoners were last spotted before they were caught. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, David. The FBI, whose mobile command center is still directly behind me, along with law enforcement officers from at least 3 states, are all celebrating this capture this morning. Police here are hoping they can have these 2 fugitives here back home as soon as today. Caught and headed back to prison this morning. These cellmates, fugitives, and now accused murderers seen here in handcuffs in Tennessee. The small-town Georgia sheriff who led the manhunt hopes to have them back in his county today.
If they waive extradition, I'll be going up to get them.
Their run from the law came to an end after police say they broke into an elderly couple's home Thursday, held them at gunpoint, and then drove off in their SUV.
The couple had the wherewithal to break free and notify authorities.
The authorities came running. The high-speed chase lasted for 10 miles on Interstate 24.
63, leaving in and out traffic pretty good. Traffic's picking up a little bit, speed's about 100.
One of the escaped inmates was driving, the other in the back seat, shooting at police.
63, I think I hear shots fired.
That's when police say they crashed the SUV, lost their guns in the wreck, raced into the woods, and then walked to a nearby home hoping to steal another car. But the homeowner had a gun and held them until police arrived.
The homeowner stepped out and held the people there by gunpoint until another neighbor came to assist him.
43-year-old Donnie Rowe was already doing life in prison. 24-year-old Ricky Dubose was in for 20 years. Now they're facing murder charges, accused of killing 2 guards on this prison bus as they made their escape Tuesday morning. No word on who gets the reward. It was up to $130,000. These prisoners are currently in the custody of federal marshals. David?
That's the good news. I'd say the person who held them until the officers arrived.
Incredible.
That's just me.
That's it.
We are learning new information about the capture of escaped inmates Ricky Dubose and Donnie Rowe.
Just minutes ago, one of the men who aided in that capture told his story. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor was there, and Angelique, the inmate surrendered in his driveway, but he doesn't think that he's a hero.
Tom, this was an amazing story. This man is full of courage and definitely God-fearing. He says he was at home when he got calls from not one but 2 friends who said those escapees were in the area of his house. He said he did a couple of things at that time. He loaded every weapon in his house. He prayed to God and he called 911. Now, he was at home with his very small daughter. He was extremely concerned. He said he could have gone to his safe room or he could have gotten in the car, which was full of gas. He decided to get in the car. As soon as he gets in his driveway and starts to pull off, he said he saw the most amazing sight. The escapees both began to take off their shirts and started waving them as if they were surrendering. Take a listen.
I realized I had 2 ex-cons wanted for murder that just shot a law enforcement or just shot at law enforcement and nothing to lose. And for some reason they started to surrender and lay down on their stomachs in my concrete driveway. If that doesn't make you believe in Jesus Christ, I don't know what will.
Now, Mr. Patrick Hale is 35 years old. He said that he believes the escapees actually thought he was a police officer, and that's why they began to take their shirts off and wave them. He said they stayed there for at least 3 minutes until the police arrived. They never once said a word, never once tried to get up, apparently did go get just a drink of water, but came right back and laid down in his driveway and surrendered right there. It's just an amazing story. We will hear much more from him tonight at 10 and 11. Reporting live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Wow, and some very powerful words there. We're so glad that he and his family are safe. Angelique, thanks. Well, no one is more relieved at the capture of Dubose and Rowe than the Putnam County Sheriff. He spoke to reporters today and expressed his gratitude and relief that these men have been captured. Fox 5's Patty Pan has that part of our story tonight.
Well, for the sheriff of Putnam County, it is very hard not to get emotional when talking about the events that have unfolded here over the last few days. But he says he and his community are elated that these 2 men have finally been caught. But he says What hangs over them are the two officers' lives lost.
You know, I went home to play the cookies from the girl next door. So, and that's very typical. My phone is literally hundreds of emails and texts thanking us, you know. Real nice.
Emotions overwhelm Putnam County Sheriff Howard Sills. He tells Fox 5 the outpouring of love and support from his community during the search for the two fugitives and the eventual capture has been unbelievable. Sheriff Sills, like countless other law enforcement officers, worked tirelessly and many without sleep since Tuesday, looking for Ricky DuBose and Donnie Rowe. After 3 days of feeling almost helpless, Sheriff Sills tells Fox 5 he and his community now feel an overwhelming sense of relief.
I am elated, ineffably so, but on the other hand, I've got a funeral to go to in the morning.
DuBose and Rowe have been on the run since Tuesday after authorities say they overpowered and killed two correction officers during a prison transport. Since then, they have been on a crime spree that ended Thursday night.
As happy as we are to have this over with, not to have the burden of work as a sheriff, my worry was not just capturing these people, but are they going to shoot another deputy, another officer, or are they going to, you know, kill some innocent civilian somewhere? That burden is a tremendous weight. It's off.
The sheriff says he himself will go down to Rutherford County to pick up these two men, bring them back for their first court appearance, and then for them to stand trial here. From what we understand, the DA here will be seeking the death penalty. Reporting from Putnam County tonight, I'm Patty Pan, Fox 5 News.